She stared at her phone, blood on her hands. On the silk sheets, the bookend is on the floor. Silas isn't moving. She should call someone. Her lawyer. The police. Someone who can fix this. Her fingers are shaking so hard she can barely type. I think I killed him. Please help me. She hits send. 30 seconds of silence. Then her phone buzzes. Don't move. I'm 8 minutes away. Her stomach drops. She looks at the contact name. Wrong number. 1 digit off. Who is this? Someone who's been waiting 3 years for you to do exactly what you just did. Her breath stops. How do you know who I am? Because I've been watching you, Nettie. And I know what he did to you. She stares at the screen. At the words. At the impossible familiarity of a stranger. Delete this conversation. Please. No. I made a mistake. The only mistake you made was waiting this long. Her hands won't stop shaking. She looks at Silas. At the blood spreading slowly across the expensive sheets. At the bookend that still has pieces of him on it. I'm calling the police. And telling them what? That you murdered your husband? That your fingerprints are the only ones on the weapon? That you've been planning this for months? I wasn't planning anything. He attacked me. I know. I saw it happen. The room tilts. That's not possible. The camera in the smoke detector. Southeast corner of your bedroom. I've been recording everything he did to you for 14 months. Every argument, every threat, every time he put his hands on your throat. She looks up at the smoke detector. Red light blinking. Why? Because I needed proof. And because I needed you ready. Ready for what? To stop being his victim. To become something else. You're insane. Probably. But I'm also the only person standing between you and life in prison. So here's what's going to happen. 7 minutes. You're going to check his pulse. Then you're going to tell me what you find. I'm not... 6 minutes, Nettie. And the security system just alerted his family that something triggered the bedroom sensors. They're coming. So check his pulse. Now. She crawls across the floor. Blood soaking into her pajamas. Her hand reaches for his neck. Presses down. Waits. Nothing. No pulse. Good. Now listen very carefully. In 5 minutes, his brother's security team will arrive. They don't work for you. They work for the senator. And when they see what you did, the senator, his brother. You didn't know? Silas Thorne, younger brother of Senator Marcus Thorne, the man running for president. Her blood goes cold. She'd known Silas's brother was in politics. But not this. Never this. When they arrive, they won't call the police. They'll make you disappear. Just like they did to the others. What others? The 7 women who married into this family before you. The ones who figured out too much. The ones who didn't survive. She can't breathe. 4 minutes. You have a choice. Let them take you. Or open the bedroom door and let me in. Why would I trust you? You shouldn't. But I'm offering you something they won't. What? A chance to destroy them before they destroy you. She looks at the door. At Silas. At the blood on her hands. 3 minutes. Decide. If I let you in, everything changes. Your old life ends. The one where you were scared. The one where you were powerless. That's over. And what replaces it? That depends on how angry you are, how smart you are, how far you're willing to go. Headlights sweep across the window. They're here. 2 minutes. Who are you? Someone who lost everything to this family. Someone who's been planning their destruction for longer than you've been alive. Someone who needed the perfect weapon to take them down. And you think I'm that weapon? No. I think you could be. If you choose to be. She stands. Walks to the door. Hand on the lock. Last chance, Nettie. Them or me. Prison or power. Victim or weapon. Choose. She unlocks the door. Opens it. And waits. Nettie Santos hadn't believed in fate until the moment she texted the wrong number. Now, standing in her blood-stained bedroom, listening to footsteps coming up the stairs, heavy, purposeful, not rushed, she wondered if maybe fate had been working on her behalf all along. The man who entered wasn't what she expected. Young, maybe 35, dark hair, darker eyes, expensive suit that didn't look like it belonged in a crime scene. He moved with the kind of calm that comes from seeing worse things than a dead body on designer sheets. You're Jae-min, she said. And you're smarter than he gave you credit for. He closed the door behind him, locked it. How long do we have? You tell me. You're the one who's been watching. 2 minutes, maybe less. He moved to Silas, checked his pulse, looked at the wound. This is good. Good? Self-defense. Clear struggle. Your injuries match defensive wounds. He looked at her neck, at the bruises already forming. He tried to kill you. You fought back. Simple story. So I just tell the truth? No. The truth gets you arrested. We need something better than truth. He pulled out his phone, started taking photos. The body, the room, her injuries. We need leverage. Against who? Everyone. He finished photographing, looked at her. Can you act? What? Can you cry on command? Look devastated? Play the grieving widow? I don't know. I've never. Then learn fast. Because in 90 seconds, I need you to be the woman who found her husband after he fell. The woman who's traumatized, confused, desperate for someone to tell her everything's going to be okay. Fell? Accidental head trauma. You were downstairs. Heard a noise. Came up and found him like this. He moved toward the window. I was never here. You found him alone. You called 911. That's the story. But the security team won't find anything wrong with that story. Because by the time they arrive, the security footage will show exactly what I just described. He looked at her. Do you trust me? No. Good. Trust is a liability. He opened the window. But I need you to believe me when I say this. Everything depends on the next 5 minutes. Mess this up, and we both lose everything. Get it right, and we take down the family that's been destroying women like you for 2 decades. Women like me? Women who were smart enough to see what they really were. Women who fought back. He climbed onto the window ledge. Remember, devastated, confused, alone. Wait, but he was gone. Nettie stood there, alone with Silas's body, listening to footsteps reaching the 2nd floor. She thought about the women he'd mentioned, the 7 who hadn't survived. She thought about her mother, about the life she'd left behind to marry a man who'd promised her everything and delivered nothing but fear. She thought about the choice she'd just made, the stranger she'd just trusted, the door she couldn't close anymore. The bedroom door burst open. 3 men in suits. Security. Not police. Not yet. Mrs. Thorne. The lead one's voice was careful, controlled. We got an alert. Is everything? He saw the body. Nettie didn't have to fake the scream. If you're hooked, drop a comment below. Should Nettie trust the stranger who's been watching her? Stay tuned for the rest of the story. The police believed her. The detective, a tired woman with kind eyes named Morrison, took Nettie's statement while she sat wrapped in a blanket, trembling for real this time. She told them about the noise, about finding Silas, about the blood. She cried when they asked about their marriage, and the tears weren't entirely fake. You're very brave, Detective Morrison said. Most women wouldn't have kept it together like you did. Nettie nodded, said nothing, thought about the stranger who'd climbed out her window. They took her to the hospital. Not because she was injured, the bruises on her neck were consistent with attempted resuscitation, they said, but because protocol required observation after traumatic events. Silas was 2 floors above her. ICU. Critical condition. Still alive. The doctor explained it to her in careful terms. Severe head trauma. Induced coma. They were monitoring for brain swelling. The next 48 hours would determine if he'd survive. I want to see him, Nettie said. Are you sure? It might be. I need to see him. They let her in for 5 minutes. Silas looked smaller in the hospital bed. Tubes and wires. Machines breathing for him. The wound on his head was bandaged, but she could still see the edges, still see what she'd done. She stood there, alone with him, and waited to feel something. Guilt, relief, fear. She felt nothing. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. He's not supposed to be alive. She typed back quickly. You said no pulse. There wasn't. He was dead for almost 3 minutes. Then they revived him. What does that mean? It means everything just got more complicated. Meet me. Tonight. There's something you need to know. I can't just leave. Yes, you can. Tell them you need air. Walk to the parking garage. Level 3. Southeast corner. 1 hour. How do you know I'll come? Because you already know something's wrong. You already know the story doesn't make sense. She looked at Silas. At the monitors tracking his failing heartbeat. What story? The one about why they're keeping him alive. 53 minutes later, Nettie walked out of the hospital. No one stopped her. No one questioned the grieving wife who needed space. The parking garage was cold. Empty. Her footsteps echoed. Jae-min was waiting by a car she didn't recognize. He looked different in casual clothes, jeans, dark jacket. No longer the polished stranger from her bedroom. "You came," he said. "You said there's something I need to know." "There is." But first, he pulled out a small device, ran it over her body. It beeped near her purse. He pulled out her phone, removed the battery. "They're tracking you." "Who?" "The senator's people. They put a tracker in your phone while you were giving your statement. Standard procedure for them. They track everyone who might be a problem." "I'm not a problem." "You killed his brother. You're absolutely a problem." He leaned against the car. "But that's not why I brought you here. I brought you here because you need to understand what you're really dealing with. Then tell me." Silas isn't just in a coma. He's insurance. For his brother. For his whole family. Jae-min crossed his arms. "Did you ever wonder how the Thorns got so powerful? How a family with no real legacy suddenly produced a senator? A presidential candidate? I assumed money. Connections. Blackmail. Information. Leverage over everyone who matters." He pulled out a phone, not his regular one, something older. Showed her a video. Silas, younger, maybe 10 years ago, sitting in an office she didn't recognize. "This is my insurance policy." Video, Silas said to the camera. "If anything happens to me, if I die, if I disappear, if I'm incapacitated for more than 72 hours, everything gets released. Every file, every secret, every piece of dirt we have on everyone who's ever helped this family." The video cut off. Nettie stared at the blank screen. A dead man's switch. Exactly. Silas has been collecting information for years, using it to protect himself from his own family. And if his heart stops, or if he stays in a coma too long, it all goes public. Jae-min put the phone away. That's why they're keeping him alive. Not because they care, because they're terrified of what happens if he dies. "How do you know all this?" "Because I helped him set it up." He looked at her. 12 years ago. Before I knew what he really was. Before I understood what his family did to people. "Who are you, really?" "Someone who made a mistake. Someone who's been trying to fix it ever since." He pushed off the car. 5 years ago, I was engaged. Her name was Sarah Kim. She was an investigative journalist working on a story about missing women connected to political families. He showed her a photo. A woman, beautiful, dark hair, bright smile. She found the pattern, the Thorn family, 7 women over 15 years. She got too close, started asking questions they didn't want answered. His voice cracked. Her car went off a bridge. Mechanical failure, they said. They killed her. Yes, and I've spent 5 years planning their destruction. Every move, every connection, waiting for the right moment. He looked at her. And then Silas married you, and I recognized the pattern starting again. So you used me. I documented you, watched you, recorded everything he did so I'd have evidence when the time came. He didn't look away. I won't apologize for that. But I will tell you, you were never just evidence to me. Somewhere in those 3 years, you became someone I wanted to save, not just use. That's a hell of an admission. It's the truth, and from now on I'm only giving you truth. He stepped closer. Silas is insurance for his family, but you just became insurance for yourself. What are you talking about? You're his wife, which means if he dies, you inherit everything. His estate, his assets, and most importantly, he paused, his insurance policy, every secret, every piece of leverage. It all goes to you. Her heart was pounding. I don't want it. It doesn't matter what you want. The senator thinks you have it. His enemies think you have it. Everyone who's ever been afraid of Silas Thorn thinks you're about to have the keys to their destruction. He held her gaze. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to try to control you, contain you, make sure that information never sees daylight. And when controlling you doesn't work, they'll kill me. They'll try, but that's where I come in. He pulled out a small USB drive. This contains everything I know about the Thorn family, every crime, every cover-up, every woman who disappeared. It's not the full insurance policy, I don't have that. But it's enough to start building a case. A case for what? For destroying them before they destroy you. He held out the drive. But I need something from you first. What? The truth. About what really happened in that bedroom. His eyes were dark. Serious. Because I watched the footage, Nettie. I saw him attack you. I saw you grab the bookend. But I also saw something else. What? You hesitated. For almost 5 seconds, you stood there with the bookend raised, and he was just lying on the floor, not moving, not attacking. And then you hit him. Again. He tilted his head. So tell me, was it really self-defense, or was it something else? The parking garage was silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights. Nettie thought about lying, about maintaining the story, about playing the victim everyone expected her to be. Instead, she told the truth. He said my mother's name. What? Right before I hit him the second time. He was lying there, and he looked at me, and he said, her voice cracked, just like your mother. Like he knew something, like it was a threat. Jamin's expression changed. Your mother's name was Maria Santos. She died 6 years ago. Cancer, right? Yes. Are you sure about that? I was at her funeral. I watched them lower her casket into... She stopped. Why are you asking me this? He pulled out his phone. Showed her a photo. A woman. Alive. Somewhere sunny. Recent. Nettie's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the concrete. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. That's not possible. It's not just possible. It's why you're here. Why Silas married you. Why this family has been watching you your entire adult life. Jamin crouched beside her. The Thorne family faked your mother's death 6 years ago. They've been keeping her alive, holding her prisoner in Costa Rica as leverage. Against you. Why would they? Because you were never random, Nettie. You were always the target. And now we need to figure out why. Jamin drove her to a motel outside the city. Small. Anonymous. The kind of place that didn't ask questions. You can't go home, he said. They'll be watching the house, watching the hospital, watching everywhere you might run. Nettie sat on the bed, staring at nothing. Her mother, alive, in Costa Rica, being held as leverage. Why didn't you tell me before? She asked. Because I found out 3 weeks ago. I've been tracking financial movements connected to the senator, and I noticed a pattern. Monthly wire transfers to an account in Costa Rica. Always the same amount. Always on the 15th. He sat across from her. I traced it, found the property, hired someone to take photos, and there she was. Does she know that I'm alive? That I've been... I don't know, but I'm guessing she thinks you're safe. That's probably what they told her. Stay quiet, stay hidden, and we'll make sure your daughter lives a good life. He leaned forward. And you did. For 3 years. You lived in that house, wore those clothes, played that part. Because that was the deal. Your mother's life for your compliance. Except I never knew about the deal. No, you didn't. Which means someone made it for you. He pulled out his laptop, started typing, and I think I know who. He turned the screen toward her. Documents. Old. Legal. 37 years ago, Richard Thorne, the senator's father, had a housekeeper named Maria Santos. Your mother. She was 21. He was 53. And he... Jamin paused. He assaulted her. Repeatedly. She fought back one night. There was an altercation. He died. Nettie's blood went cold. She killed him. That's what the family claims. They say she killed him and hid the body. That they found out years later and used it as blackmail. Stay hidden. Stay controlled. Or we prosecute you for murder. He closed the laptop. But I don't think that's the whole story. What do you mean? I mean the Thornes don't protect people out of the goodness of their hearts. If they've kept your mother alive for 37 years, if they arranged for you to marry Silas, there's a bigger reason. Something about your family that makes you valuable to them. Or dangerous. Like what? I don't know. But I think Silas does. And I think that's why he built his insurance policy. Not just to protect himself. To protect information about you. Nettie stood, paced. So what do? Storm the compound? Demand answers? We get you leverage first. Real leverage. The kind that makes them answer questions instead of just killing you for asking. He pulled out the USB drive again. This is everything I have. But it's not enough. We need Silas's full insurance files. The originals. The ones that explain why your family matters. And how do we get those? We wake him up, and we ask. They went back to the hospital that night. Not through the front too many cameras. Through a service entrance Jae-min had apparently scouted weeks ago. You've been planning this, Nettie said. I've been planning everything. Every exit. Every angle. Every possible move the Thorns might make. He led her through empty corridors. The question was always who would make the first move. You did. Now we capitalize. Silas's ICU room was dimly lit. Machines humming. One nurse on duty, easily distracted by a family emergency Jae-min fabricated. Nettie stood beside the bed, looked at the medical chart. She'd worked as a nurse for 6 months before meeting Silas. Before he'd convinced her to quit, she still remembered the protocols. The dosages. You're sure about this? Jae-min asked. No, but I'm doing it anyway. She adjusted the sedative flow. Not stopping it that would trigger alarms. Just reducing it. Letting Silas's body start metabolizing what was already in his system. 10 minutes passed. His eyes moved under the lids, then opened. Unfocused at first, then sharpening, finding her face. Nettie. His voice was barely a whisper. Hi, you came. I have questions. I know. He tried to sit up. Couldn't. I know what you're going to ask. Then answer. Why did you marry me? To protect you. He coughed. Blood flecked his lips. From my family, from what they were planning. And the abuse, the control, 3 years of making me feel worthless, training, making you, another cough, making you strong enough to survive when I couldn't protect you anymore. That's the worst excuse I've ever heard. It's not an excuse. It's the truth. His eyes were pleading. Everything I did was to prepare you, to make you angry enough to fight, strong enough to win. Win what? The war. Against my family. He stopped, looked at her stomach. You don't know yet. Her blood went cold. Know what? How far along are you? The room tilted. What are you talking about? The pregnancy. How far along? I'm not pregnant. Yes, you are. 11 weeks. I've known for 3 weeks. He tried to reach for her hand. Failed. That's why everything escalated. Why I attacked you that night. Because I needed you to defend yourself before what? Before the family found out. Because once they know you're carrying a Thorn heir, they'll never let you go. He coughed harder. You'll be property. Forever. She backed away. No. I can't be, we haven't. 6 months ago, the night of my birthday. He looked away. You don't remember because I drugged your wine. The words hit like physical blows. You raped me. I saved you. There's no difference. Her voice shook. You drugged me. You violated me. You got me pregnant without my consent. It's the only reason you're still alive. The only reason my family hasn't made you disappear like the others. Killing a woman carrying the heir, even my father won't cross that line. He met her eyes. I made you untouchable. You made me a prisoner in my own body. I gave you a weapon they can never take from you. He nodded at her stomach. That child is the future of this family. And you control it. You decide if it lives or dies. If it grows up to be them, or something better. Alarms started blaring. His vitals were crashing. Silas. The insurance policy. Voice activation. He grabbed her wrist with surprising strength. Whispered in her ear. A phrase. Strange. Specific. Say those words into my phone, the one in my office, safe, and you activate the release. Everything. Why give me that power? Because you're the only person I trust to use it right. He released her. Fell back. Nettie, I'm sorry. For everything. But not for this. Not for giving you a chance to win. The medical team burst through the door. Nettie stepped back. Watched them work. Watched Silas slip away again. Not dead. Not alive. Somewhere between. When it was over, the doctor turned to her. Did he wake up? Did he say anything? No, she lied. Nothing at all. In the hospital bathroom, Nettie stared at the pregnancy test she'd stolen from the supply closet. 2 lines. Positive. 11 weeks. Just like Silas said. Her phone buzzed. Jae-min, where are you? The senator just arrived. She looked at the test. At the proof. At the weapon Silas had created inside her without her consent. She could end it. Walk into a clinic. Take a pill. Refuse to let his violation control her. Or she could use it. She flushed the test, walked out. The senator was in the hallway. Tall, silver-haired, presidential. Nettie. I came as soon as I heard. Concerned uncle. Perfect performance. How is he? Stable. For now. Thank God. He took her hands. And you, how are you holding up? I'm pregnant. His grip tightened. What? 11 weeks. Your grandchild. She met his eyes, saw the calculation, the fear, which means you need me alive, which means I have leverage now. Nettie, this changes things. We need to make sure you're protected. I don't want your protection. I want my mother. His face went pale. I don't know what you're... Costa Rica. The compound. Maria Santos. She stepped closer. You've been holding her for 6 years, telling her I'm safe so she'll stay quiet. But I'm not safe. And now that I have proof she's alive, you're going to bring her back, or I'm going to the police with everything. You don't have anything. I have Silas's phone, the one with the activation code, the one that releases everything if I say the right words. She smiled, cold. So here's the deal. You bring my mother back safely. You leave us both alone, or I burn down your entire campaign. The senator stared at her. You're making a mistake. No, marrying Silas was a mistake. This? She gestured between them. This is me taking control. She walked away, found Jae-min by the elevator. What did you do? He asked. I started the war. They flew into San Jose under fake names the next day. Jae-min had connections, people who provided untraceable documents and didn't ask questions. By the time they landed, Nettie was Rachel Morrison, Canadian tourist. The compound is 40 minutes north, Jae-min said, driving a rental through humid darkness. 23 acres, 8 guards. Your mother is in the guest house. 2nd floor. You've planned this. For 8 months. Ever since I confirmed she was alive. He glanced at her. I was going to extract her after everything with the senator was finished. After you were safe, but you accelerated the timeline. Good. I'm tired of waiting. They parked a mile away. Went over the wall at 3 a.m. during the guard change. The compound was eerily beautiful. Manicured gardens, stone pathways, the guest house lit from within. She's awake, Nettie whispered. I can see her moving. She has insomnia, walks the house between 2 and 4 a.m. every night. Jae-min picked the back door lock. Nettie, when she sees you, she might not believe you're real. Be ready for that. Nettie nodded. Inside, the house smelled like her childhood. Coffee, old books, jasmine. Her mother was in the kitchen, making tea, gray hair pulled back, thinner than Nettie remembered, but alive. Mama, Nettie whispered. Maria turned. The teacup fell. Shattered. Nettie? Her voice broke. No, this isn't... You're not... I'm real. Nettie crossed the room, touched her mother's face. I'm here. Maria collapsed into her arms, sobbing. They told me they said if I stayed quiet you'd be safe. I know, but they lied. About everything. Nettie held her tighter. And now we're leaving. All of us. I can't. They'll kill you if I... They're going to try anyway. But at least this way, we fight together. Nettie pulled back. Please, trust me. Jae-min appeared. We have 4 minutes. They ran. Through gardens, past security, toward the wall. Alarms, lights, dogs. A guard appeared, weapon raised. Jae-min moved, fast. The guard went down. They climbed, over the wall, into the car. A gunshot. Nettie felt fire spread through her arm. You're hit, Jae-min said. I'm fine. Drive. He drove, lost the pursuit, got them to the airport. Only when they were airborne did Jae-min look at her arm. It's just a graze. You'll be okay. We got her, Nettie said, looking at her mother sleeping in the seat beside her. That's all that matters. Jae-min took her hand. You did good. She squeezed back. We're not done yet. Back in Chicago, safe in the farmhouse. The reality settled in. Maria was free, but traumatized. Silent for hours, then crying, then asking questions Nettie couldn't answer yet. And Jae-min, who'd been watching her for 3 years, who'd let her suffer to build his case, who was looking at her now with something that might be love or might just be guilt. I need space, Nettie said on the 2nd day. From you, from all of this. I understand. Do you? She turned to face him. Do you understand what it's like to learn that someone documented your pain instead of stopping it? That your suffering was research? He didn't answer. How many times? She pressed. In 3 years. How many times did you think about intervening? Every day. But you didn't. Because I was more useful suffering. That's not. He stopped. Yes. That's what I told myself. That gathering evidence was more important than one woman's pain. And I was wrong. Completely, inexcusably wrong. When did it change? Her voice was quieter now. When did I stop being evidence? He pulled out his phone, showed her footage. Her, 6 months ago, sitting in the garden, crying, not performing, just breaking. That moment, he said, I realized you weren't going to survive, that Silas was escalating, that in a few months you'd be dead, and I couldn't. His voice cracked. I couldn't watch another woman die for my revenge. Another woman. Nettie took the phone. You mean Sarah? Yes. You're still in love with her. I'll always love her. He didn't look away. But somewhere in the last 6 months, I started caring about you too. Not as a replacement. Not as a second chance. As yourself. That's not good enough. I know. You kept my mother's survival secret. For 3 weeks. While I grieved. While I made decisions based on thinking she was dead. Nettie's hands shook. How am I supposed to trust you? You're not. You shouldn't. He stood. But I'm asking you to let me help anyway. Not because I deserve it. Because you deserve to win. And I have resources you need. And after we destroy the thorns, after I disappear, if that's what you want. She studied him. This man who'd hurt her while claiming to help. Who was offering to leave without asking for forgiveness. I don't know what I want, she admitted. I'm pregnant with my rapist's child. My mother was dead, and now she's alive. I killed a man who was apparently trying to protect me in the worst way possible. And you... She stopped. You're the person who watched it all happen and did nothing. Yes. So don't tell me you care. Don't tell me you love me. Because I can't hear that right now. Okay. But I do need your help. To get Silas's insurance files. To end the senator. To make sure my daughter... She put her hand on her stomach. To make sure she never has to live like this. You're keeping it. I don't know yet. But if I do, she deserves better than this. Better than us. Agreed. He pulled out his laptop. Then let's give her that. Let's end this family so thoroughly that she never has to look over her shoulder. How? We go to the estate. Tonight. We access the files. And we learn why your family was targeted. He looked at her. Because there's something you need to know. Something Silas hinted at before he crashed. Something about who you really are. What? I think... He hesitated. I think you're not just connected to the thorns. I think you might be one of them. By blood. Nettie's heart stopped. That's not possible. Your grandmother, Eleanor Santos. I've been researching her. And I found something. A birth record. From 1942. For a girl named Eleanor Thorne. No, she was Richard Thorne's sister, which means your mother is a Thorne by blood, and you, he looked at her, you're the legitimate heir to everything. The room was spinning, that's why they took your mother, why they arranged your marriage to Silas. They needed you controlled, because if you ever learned the truth, I could claim the inheritance, take everything from them. Yes. Nettie sat down. Hard. So I'm related to the family that destroyed my life. You're related to the people who wanted your inheritance. Your grandmother ran away from them. Started over. Tried to escape. But they found her descendants. Found you. And they've been controlling your family ever since. Does my mother know? I don't think so. But we can ask her. He paused. Or we can wait. Get the full files first. Confirm everything before we tell her. Nettie looked toward the room where her mother was sleeping. We wait. She's been through enough. Agreed. And Jamin? Yeah? After this is over, after we've destroyed them and I've figured out what to do about this pregnancy, I need time. To process. To heal. To figure out who I am without trauma defining me. I understand. I'm not saying never. I'm saying not now. That's fair. She stood. Then let's go. Let's end this so I can figure out what comes after. They drove to the estate in silence, each lost in their own thoughts, each preparing for what came next, neither of them knowing that by morning, Everything would change. That sacrifice would be required. That winning would cost more than either of them imagined. They broke into the Thorne estate at 2 a.m. Nettie's codes still worked. The security was focused outward. They weren't expecting someone with legal access. Silas's office was exactly as she'd left it. Safe behind the bookshelf, phone inside. Nettie held it. Felt the weight of everything it contained. Ready? Jaemin asked. She spoke the activation phrase. In blood and fire, the truth sets free. The phone came alive. Files downloading. Video player opening. Silas appeared on screen. If you're seeing this, you've spoken the code. Which means you're about to learn why the Thorne family targeted your family. Why they've controlled your mother for 37 years. The video showed old documents. Birth certificates. DNA tests. Family trees. Eleanor Thorne was Richard's sister. She disappeared in 1965. Changed her name to Eleanor Santos. Started over in Chicago. Away from the family. Away from the money. Nettie's hands were shaking. Your mother, Maria Santos, is Eleanor's daughter, which makes you a Thorne by blood, the legitimate heir to the fortune. The video continued. Richard attacked your grandmother 37 years ago, tried to force her to sign away her inheritance rights. She fought back. He died heart attack during the struggle. But my family covered it up, told Maria she'd killed him, used her guilt as leverage. Documents appeared, medical records, autopsy reports. But here's what they never told her. Richard was already dead from the heart attack before any physical confrontation. Maria didn't kill anyone. She just hid a body she thought she'd killed. A crime with a statute of limitations that expired decades ago. Nettie felt tears coming. My family has been using a lie to control yours for 37 years. And I helped build that lie. Until I realized, Silas's voice broke. Until I realized I was doing to you what my father did to your grandmother. Taking choice, taking power, taking everything. So I'm giving it back. All of it. The truth, the files, the choice. The video showed legal documents, wills, trusts, inheritance claims. You can claim everything. Take the fortune. Destroy my family from within. Or you can walk away. Disappear. Let them keep their empire. Either way you win. Either way you're free. Silas leaned forward. One last message. And Nettie, I'm sorry. For the pregnancy. For the control. For everything. I thought I was protecting you. But I was just repeating the same patterns. The same violence. He paused. If you keep the child, know that it wasn't conceived in love. But it can be raised in it. You can choose to make something good from something terrible. That's your power. Not mine. Yours. The video ended. The room was silent. Jaemin was reading the documents. This is it. Everything we need. Proof of your lineage. Proof of the cover-up. Proof of... Lights flooded the office. The senator stood in the doorway. Not alone. 6 armed men. I was wondering when you'd come for these, he said. I've been monitoring the security. Waiting. Jaemin moved in front of Nettie. Let her go. Your fight is with me. My fight is with everyone who threatens my legacy. The senator stepped closer. Did you really think I'd let you walk out with that evidence? It's already uploaded, Nettie lied. If anything happens to us. Empty threat. He nodded to his men. Take the laptop, the phone, everything. They moved. Jaemin fought. Took down 2 men before they subdued him. Nettie ran. Toward the back stairs. A gunshot. Sharp. Final. She heard someone fall behind her. She turned. Maria was in the doorway. She'd followed them. Tried to help. Blood spreading across her chest. Mama! Nettie dropped beside her. No. Run. Maria whispered. Touched her daughter's face. Save her. Save. Her eyes closed. Nettie screamed. The senator's voice. Regrettable, but necessary. Jaemin was still fighting. Screaming. Held back by 3 men. The senator's men grabbed Nettie. Started dragging her away from her mother's body. You're going to pay for this, she whispered. No, I'm not, the senator gestured. We'll stage this carefully. Tragic home invasion. The pregnant widow and her mother. Very sad. Nettie's mind raced. She was out of options. Out of leverage. Out of... Wait, she said. I'll give you what you want. The senator raised his hand. His men stopped. The inheritance. My claim. I'll sign it all over. Right now. Legally. She met his eyes. But you let him go. She nodded at Jae-min. And you let my daughter live. You never touch her. Ever. The senator considered this. And in exchange, you get everything. The estate, the fortune, the power. She paused. And I disappear, however you want. But she grows up free. Silence. You're offering to die. Yes, for them. Nettie, don't. Jaemin's voice. Do we have a deal? The senator pulled out his phone, made a call. Bring the contract. Full inheritance waiver. 20 minutes later, she signed it. On camera. Witnessed. Legal. Giving up everything. The senator nodded to his men. Let him go. They released Jae-min. He stumbled toward her. I'm not leaving. Yes, you are. She touched his face. You're going to take my daughter. Raise her far away. Tell her I loved her. Nettie, promise me. I promise, but let me stay. There's no other way. She kissed him, one last time. Thank you, for everything, for seeing me. They escorted him out. Nettie stood alone with the senator. And her mother's body. 24 hours, the senator said. After that, I expect news of your death. I understand. He left. Nettie was alone, with 24 hours to live. Jae-min came back. I couldn't leave, he said. I tried, but I can't let you die. You promised to keep her safe. I will, but not like this. He sat beside her. We run, both of us, before the 24 hours is up. And then what? He finds us, takes her as leverage, kills us all anyway. She shook her head. The only way she lives is if I'm dead. Then we find another way. There is no other way. They talked for hours, about everything, about what might have been, about Sarah and Silas and all the ghosts between them. Do you think you could have loved me? Nettie asked at dawn. Really loved me? I think I already do, he said. But I don't know if it's the kind that matters. Love doesn't save people, she said. People save themselves. Love just makes it worth saving yourself for. And you're not saving yourself this time. No, this time I'm saving her. At hour 22, Nettie made her decision. Pills from Silas's office. Enough to stop her heart. She wrote letters. One to her daughter. One to Jae-min. To her daughter. I'm sorry I never got to meet you. But you were loved. Even before you were born. I loved you enough to give up everything so you could be free. Don't avenge me. Just live. Fully. Fiercely. Free. And know that Jae-min will love you better than I ever could. She sealed it. Then took the pills. Jae-min found her as she swallowed the last one. No. It's done. Already drowsy. I took them all. I'm calling. Don't. Just hold me. He pulled her close. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed. You didn't fail. You gave me tools to save myself. Her words were slurring. And you'll save her. What do I tell her? Tell her I fought. Tell her I won. Her eyes closed. Her breathing slowed. Stopped. She was gone. Jae-min sat with her body for 3 hours. Then called the senator. It's done. She's dead. Good. Stay away from us. Agreed. The child doesn't exist. Jae-min hung up. He cremated her body, scattered her ashes in the ocean, and disappeared. Elena Park sat in a coffee shop in Vancouver, reading the letter for the 100th time. Her father had given it to her on her 16th birthday, from her mother, the woman who died before she was born. She'd spent a year deciding if she wanted to know. Now, at 17, she was ready. She read about sacrifice, about love, about a woman who gave everything for her daughter's freedom. She cried, angry tears, because her mother shouldn't have had to die. When she finished, she made a decision. She researched the Thorne family, the senator dead now, the empire he'd left behind, and the loopholes in the inheritance contract, because Nettie had signed away her claim. Not her daughter's. She called her father. I want to claim it. The inheritance. Everything she gave up. Elena. She died so I could be free, but freedom isn't hiding. Her voice was steel. Freedom is taking back what they stole. Silence. Then, your mother would be proud. Would she want me to do this? She'd want you to choose. Then I choose to fight. 3 months later. Elena Park versus the Thorne estate. The case was simple. Nettie had signed under duress, hours after her mother's murder, and she'd only signed away her claim, not her daughter's. Elena won. Not all of it, but enough. Enough to start a foundation. The Nettie Santos Foundation for Survivors. She named it after her mother. She gave her first interview standing in front of the Thorne estate, now a shelter. My mother died so I could be free, but she also lived so women like her could be seen, could fight back. She paused. This is for her, and for every woman who came before, and every woman who'll come after. Do you think she'd be proud? I think she'd be terrified. But yeah, under all that fear, proud. That night, Jaemin stood on the beach where he'd scattered Nettie's ashes. You were wrong, he said to the ocean. You didn't lose everything. You won. Elena is fierce and brilliant and free. She's changing the world. The waves crashed. I miss you. I know I didn't earn the right to love you. But I did. And I still do. No answer. But somewhere, in the space between loss and healing, peace, or at least acceptance. That some love stories don't end with forever. They just end. And that has to be enough. Some people survive terrible things so their children don't have to. That's not weakness. That's the most powerful form of love that exists. Unknown. This story hurt to write. If you're feeling something, anger, grief, hope, leave a comment. Share this with someone who needs to know that sacrifice isn't the same as defeat. Remember, Nettie died so Elena could live. But Elena lived so Nettie's death meant something. That's the difference between tragedy and purpose. Until the next story, fight for what matters, even when it costs everything.